And we're back. You missed it. He just said he feels stronger. So, I have determined that I need to find all those bars that I didn't go to. I remember that that was one thing I was supposed to do, was go into bars. So, that's what I'm gonna try to do. Ah! But I have to fight all these people that I was fighting whenever I went to go hide. And discovered that Morty doesn't heal himself. How sad. Only me, who can die a million times. And of course, I've been in there so long and now it's nighttime. Kind of a drag. Oh, and I know that I was still looking for a bronze ring. I thought it was copper, but it's bronze.
Alright, alright.
Makes me very sad. Okay, and I believe that actually those bars this way. Wait,
Done.
actually, let's look at the map. Oh, what a great map. The hive, the hive, the hive, the hive. The hive, oh. Can I just grab myself? Oh look, stuff. And eyeballs over here. There's a whirlpool over here. There's some arrows over here. That is a different eyeball over here. Some writing over here. Maybe, Indian burial ground. Oh, maybe it's where I died. Look, here's more writing. Maybe this is where I died. There's a doorway looking thing. Here's some more writing. I like how whenever I grab the map, I'm actually heading the map. Yes. Good map. I'm sorry, I hope you can hear me. I mean, well, I don't know if you want to hear me, but anyway. Heading the map. That's what I was saying. Okay, so somebody I know wasn't really giving me... I was really stuck, and they drew me a little map of this, and I didn't realize that it's actually on here. Alright, so instead of wasting time, I think I want to go here? And I'm actually going down? So I'm actually going to go up? Whoops. Also, it's nighttime. I don't know if that's really a good thing. Good time to... Oh, look. I think maybe the sun is coming up.
Done.
I thought an invisible person was calling me.
I'm gone.
No,
Done.
no, wait,
I'm
don't go
gone.
in there. I'm so confused. Here we go. I was like... Wait. Oh. Okay, well I wanted to make sure where this was. Alright, let's just talk to everybody. Hey, zombie worker. This female corpse is dressed in a heavy burlap shirt covered with food and wine stains. Her lips have been stitched closed and her arms and legs are wrapped in several layers of bandages. The bandages seem to have been soaked in preservatives to keep the corpse fresh. As a result, the corpse's rotting odor has been replaced with an equally repulsive vinegar smell. So, doing anything later? The zombie continues to stare at you. Alright then. Great talking to you. Farewell. As you turn away, you notice Morty staring at you. Eh? Eh? What is it? Did you see the way that cadaverous beauty was staring at me? Morty's teeth chatter as if anticipation. She was looking for some lucky cutter to thaw her coffin. Please don't start this again. Morty ignores you and becomes thoughtful. I don't really mind the attention, actually. It's just that I like to be seen as something more than just a skull, you know? I have feelings that go beyond my base animal instincts. I want courtship, not some fortnight fling around the mausoleum. Keep it up and I'm going to fling you somewhere. Whoa, Chief. Morty backed slightly out of arm's reach. Women, they appreciate lovers, not fighters. You are perhaps the last person I would ever take romantic advice from. If you had half the sense you died with, you'd know better. Morty's voice rises to new heights of smugness. When it comes to the annals of love, I wrote 'em all. Whatever, Morty. Let's go. Oh, look at her go. Let me just get some of that for you. Wait. These bubbling tanks are dispensing contents into wooden kegs. There's a faint smell of vinegar in the air. I love drinking vinegar. Let's talk to this dustman. Hello, dustman. You see a somber, pale-faced dustman in black robes. He's staring silently into his drink. Greetings. Yes? Can I ask you some questions? Not at this time. Okay. Siri the skeptic. As you approach, the elderly woman turns and stares at you. La, look who's come a-callin' on Siri today. Death's dearest son. She looks you up and down, then shakes her head in disbelief. By every power and its mother, boy. What crypt did you crawl out of? I didn't crawl out of any crypt. She frowns, her face wrinkling like crumpled parchment. Right then. What coffin did you crawl out of? She mumbles. One of those shoddy splint coffins that Harmy's most like. Oh, Hamry's. Sorry. All these weird names. Gives corpses splinters, I hear. She sniffs. That boy's not been worth a clipped copper since his father died. Who's Hamry's? Hamry's is a coffin breaker. Coffin maker. In the lower ward. Inherited the shop when his father died, much to the shame of every corpse needing a coffin, crypt, or tombstone and sigil. What happened to his father? Those ears just for show, boy? He died, she mumbles. His son talked him to death, most likely. That boy's tongue doesn't stop rattling. I'm surprised he doesn't shake his head loose from his shoulders. You two sound like you have a lot in common, then. She narrows her eyes. Do us both a favor and latch that bone box of yours, boy. Don't be drawing commons between me and that yapping whelp. Very well. I had some other questions. Questions, eh? Well, you can ask. Siri looks at you with a steely eye, then smiles. Crypt crawler. I didn't crawl out of any crypt! I wanted to ask you about some of the dustmen in particular. No harm in it. Who's on your mind? Dal! Dal? He was my instructor in the philosophical arts during my early training at the mortuary, and a crusty fool to boot. He's ill, so my ears tell me. I bet he'll even bore death with his presence. Is he dying? Sicker than a spotted dog he is. Not much sand left in the hourglass for him. Can I ask you about some other dustmen? No harm in it. What about one of the embalmers in the mortuary, Elvine? Oh, Ivine. Do you know her? Who? A young, strange young woman, poor eyesight, near death, talons for hands. Siri shakes her head. Maybe she's a new initiate. I've never heard of her. Very well. I had some other questions. Are you a dustman? A dustman? I suppose. She sniffs. I've seen enough sand pass through the hourglass while wearing these robes. This body's almost ready to pay the ferryman. She chuckles, but there's not much mirth in it. Are you afraid of dying? Of course I am, boy. Who isn't? She frowns and glances around. Well, except Dustman. They're not afraid because they've been swallowing so much of their own bat droppings over the decades they've blinded themselves into thinking that death is some kind of release. So what sparked this crisis of faith? She shrugs. Life, I suppose. She frowns. Ha! Never you mind. I won't bore you with the niggling details. I'd like to know, actually. Oh, would you? She looks at you skeptically. How old you take me for, boy? I don't know and I don't care. Siri frowns. You were the one who asked me to rattle my bone box, boy. I'd be careful what you ask for in the future. I will. Farewell. What? Keep talking to me. Better hop along back to your crypt, boy. I don't have much time left in this life to banter words with you. Seriously? Ugh! Ugh! This tiny wizened man is dwarfed by his huge dustman robes. Doesn't look like it, he looks kind of like the rest of them. They look as if they were chosen to cloak his small stature. Although he looks to be in his late 90s, this man is extremely energetic. He fidgets continuously, and his eyes dart around the bar like a bird's. Oh my god! That reminds me of this little old lady I saw once. She was shuffling around making little, like, pigeon noises. She was so tiny and old. I had a dream about her. Anyway, I imagine that's what he looks like, except a man. Greetings. The man's eyes gleam as he takes your measure, and he gives... I'm imagining him eating, like, sunflower seeds or something, like, cooing and chirping. He gives a slight nod in agreement. In greeting. Man, I can't read. Hail and well met, traveler. You look like one who is just getting their sigil eggs about them. He trails off. Pardon me, have we met before? Your face seems familiar somehow. No, at least, I don't recall you. Maybe I was mistaken. Mordai shakes his head. Well, no matter, no matter. How is it that Mordai Graveson may help you? Do you seek... He clucks his tongue as he speaks. The contract, perhaps? Contract? The contract? Why, it is but a simple transaction. From the depths of his huge robe, Mordai pulls forth a dusty parchment and a quill pen. I give you 50 commons. In return, after death, the dustmen faction will claim your remains. He smiles and clucks his tongue. What use will you have for them at that point anyway? Let's see. Not interested, thanks. I did have some questions, though. Of course, Mortai nods. It would be my pleasure to answer any questions you may have. Are you the one who signed the dead contract with Angyar? Mortai frowns. He looks puzzled. Mayhap. He thinks for a moment. I do not recall the name, however. I would like to settle that contract. Mordai looks wary. I'm afraid that is impossible. The contract is signed, settled, and binding. The contract is tearing the man's life apart. The contract is tearing the man's life apart. It's causing him distress. Is it possible he may not even be able to approach true death with such emotions churning in his mind? Is there any way I may be able to settle the contract with you? I suggest you hand over the contract right now, or I'll butcher you where you stand. That's mighty bold. In a room full of dustmen. I suggest you hand over the contract, or I'll bluff or truth? Never mind, then I had some other questions. No. The contract is tearing the man's life apart. Mordai shakes his head. That is indeed unfortunate, but it is now a matter of law, not a matter of the heart. Is there any way I may be able to settle the contract with you? Mordai chews it over for a moment. It looks as though you've negotiated him into a corner. I cannot. It is a matter of law, my friend. Besides, the burden lies upon the signer to overcome his own feelings in order to reach the true death. I cannot... so what you're saying is you'll deny him the true death for the sake of a piece of paper. Mordai sighs and holds out his hand as if to placate you. Look, it's not how you're making it out to be. You obviously hold the philosophy of a dustman in contempt, to damn a man's soul over a piece of paper. Do other members of your faction know of your conduct in this regard? If not, they soon will. Mordai stares at you for a moment, opens his mouth and closes it, and then opens it. By the 9 hells... Wait here. He drops his voice a whisper, and keep your bone box latched. He gives an angry scowl and stomps off. Ha 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 ha! A few seconds later he returns. He's holding a dusty piece of parchment, which he gives to you. Here. He sniffs disdainfully. All for a man's peace of mind. Now be gone and nettle with me, or preaching's no longer. I will leave for now. Farewell, Mordai. Ha 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 ha! Fools, she says! This female corpse is dressed exactly as the other one, and she smells like vinegar. It was great talking to you. The zombie gazes at you with vacant eyes. His lips have been stitched closed, and the bandages are wrapped several places around his body. The faint smell of alcohol emanates from the corpse. You know, I didn't set a timer. I don't really know how long this video is going to be. Hopefully, it'll upload. So, seen anything interesting around here? The zombie continues to stare at you. Alright then. Great talking to you. Farewell. You see a somber, pale-faced dustman in black robes. He's staring silently into his drink. Greetings. The dustman looks up. Yes? Can I ask you some questions? Not at this time. Farewell then. I think I talked to him before, but I'm gonna talk to him now. You see Nirochiju. He's pulling at one of the spikes in his hair and using it to scratch a spot on his face. What? You can't help but think he looked a lot better with dreadlocks. I found out what was going on at the mausoleum. The dead sleep again.
Updated my journal.
Oh! I'm glad I came back to talk to him. Nirochiju's lines of worry smooth out as you speak. Thanks. Goodbye. Is he Yoda? He reaches into his robes and draws forth a small bag, which he hands to you. Copper coin, 100. Thanks, glad I could help. Farewell. You can't help but thinking constantly how he'd look so much better with dreadlocks. Hello, awaiting death. Before you is a young dustman with stubble on his chin and dark circles beneath his eyes. He's staring at the wall with a somber expression. Greetings. The dustman doesn't look up. He stares straight ahead as if he sees something several leagues beyond the walls of the bar. Can I ask you some questions? I predict that he's staring at a portal that I'll have to go through later with some item that I get at the very end of being in this area. He just keeps staring into the distance. Alrighty then, Morty hisses at you. Let's go, Chief. This dusty might as well be fertilizer. Fair enough. Let's get out of here. As you turn to leave, the dustman suddenly speaks, his voice barely a murmur. You have to strain to hear the words. You think he said something about wanting to die. What did you say? The boy's expression does not flicker. Do you want to die? No. Do you? Yes. He studies you. Why do you want to live? Survival instinct. I want to live. The dustman listens silently. After you speak, he does not respond, merely watches you. He looks like he is thinking. Do you want to die? Is that why you asked? Yes. Why don't you want to live? This is living? He bares his teeth and his hands clench. This existence is a mockery of life. I do not wish to continue the charade any longer. Death is silent. Comforting. Trust me, it's not. The boy seems irritated by the comment. And how do you know? I think I've died before. I don't remember much about it, though. The dustman blinks and sneers. You lie. No man can die more than once, not without being resurrected by mighty magics. Resurrected? Resurrected, brought back to life. The magic required is indeed powerful. Who would be capable of such power? A powerful sorcerer or priest, or one of the powers. But not anyone I know. He frowns. And I don't believe you know anyone of that sort either. If I ever die and remember, I will return and speak of it to you. Then you may gauge whether or not I lie. Farewell. Old Copper Eyes, how are you? Before you is a tall, silent figure. He could easily pass for a statue, although the deep furrows in his face and brow make you wonder if the sculptor were a little too eager in defining the face with the chisel. He looks well over 50, but exactly how much over 50 it's hard to tell. As he slowly turns to look at you, you catch the dull sheen of copper in his eyes. Greetings. Old Copper Eyes stares at you. His eyes are difficult to make out past the black wells of his eye sockets, but they look to have a coppery sheen about them. I get it. I'm looking to sign one of the dead contracts. I have some questions. He says nothing. Never mind. Farewell. Zombie bodyguard! The zombie gazes at you with vacant eyes. His lips have been stitched closed, and bandages are wrapped in several places around his body. He smells like alcohol. Have you been drinking? You look lost, sir. You see a heavy-set man with dark skin and grim features. He is dressed in dustman robes and is regarding you with a stony gaze. Greetings. You have the look of one who is lost. You have the look of one lost. The man's voice is like stones settling. Did the wind send you, or are you here with purpose? Who are you? I am Emmerich, factotum and initiate of the Fourth Circle. Is this your bar? If you measure ownership in copper, this is not my establishment. If you measure ownership in spirit, it is mine. He pauses as if trying to emphasize a point. The dustmen here are my students. They are under my protection. Can I ask you some questions? He waits. I'm searching for a man named Farad. Have you seen him? I would know why you seek the Collector Farad. I wish to speak with him. As do I. He has made such a thing difficult. He speaks through other men. Emmerich falls silent for a moment. When two men speak through other men, little is said and much is lost. Why do you want to speak with Farad? The Collector Farad has brought many corpses to the mortuary of late. One must ask where the bodies are from. Perhaps I could find out where the bodies are from. How would you do such a thing? I would track down Farad and ask him. If you spoke with the Collector Farad and returned with his answers, you will have done a great service for the dustmen. Find where the dead he brings to us are from, and you will be rewarded. Very well, I will find Farad, speak to him, and find out where the dead bodies he brings you are from. Your path is our path. Return here when you have the Collector Farad's answers. Can you tell me where he is? It is not known to me where the Collector Farad is. He hides from the eyes of the dustmen. I would seek other collectors and ask them for your question. What? Other collectors and ask them? Yes. I had some other questions. I would like to join the dustmen. What? What would I do? I will hear your request. But what do they believe? I don't want to be a dustman. Can you tell me about the dead contracts? What is it? In exchange for 50 copper commons, the dead contract gives the dustman faction the rights to your corpse after death. Do you wish to sign one? No. Tell me about the dustman faction. They seek true death. Some call it oblivion, but this is incorrect. To dustmen, true death is freedom from the chains of this false life. This life that many cling to with their emotions is a false existence. As long as one clings to it, they will continually be reborn into it. One must divest themselves of emotion to escape this cycle. I see. Can you tell me about how your faction is organized? Dustmen are organized into 5 circles. The 5th circle is made of the lowest rank of dustmen, initiates. The 1st circle is comprised of the highest ranking dustmen, the ruling body of our faction. That's it. I want my journal. I have not seen a journal. Maybe I would join the dustmen. Do you know our philosophy? Yes. Recite it. The goal of the dustman is to reach true death, oblivion. The life many cling to with passions as a false one. As long as things cling to it, one will continue to be reborn into it. One must divest themselves of emotion to escape this cycle. Do you believe it? Yes. Then it shall be tested. Speak with Initiate Neroch. He is here in the bar. Return when you have done what he has asked of you. Very well. These gates are made of featureless black metal. They don't, there doesn't appear to be any way to open them. That's a small bar. Naroch, where are you? You see him. He is pulling, okay, he's picking with his hair. Emmerich told me to speak to you, Naroch. Somebody tell me how to say his name. Emmerich sent you to me. He studies you for a moment, then sighs and points at himself. Naroch is dustman. Guard. Serve dustman interest. Protect dustman interest. Protect dustman reputation. The man sighs again. In the hive, many thieves. One thief wears robe of dustman, but a dustman not. There's a thief disguised as a dustman.
My journal.
Find him I cannot. Important to the dustman it is. I could track him down for you. For a price. For making my troubles your troubles, copper coins I will pay. Find the not dustman, deal with him, then return. Naroch will wait. Very well. Let's save, and then cut the video, and then get out of here. And find the not dustman!